This is the Impala that I have made so far. As I look at this, there are a few things I'd like to point out. One is that if you see the angle here, it's kind of tippy. And so if I pull it this way, this is more upright, and I would like it to stand more upright instead of at this kind of tipped angle. So I'll show you how to fix that. You can see that as I turn it around. And then the other thing I'd like to show you is that cracks appear, and here is a crack, and that comes from the clay shrinking, and it's more likely to have that kind of issue with the paper clay than it is with the fiber clay. For some reason the fiber clay doesn't shrink as much. I suspect that is because the fibers really hold tightly, they are longer, they stretch rather than tear, so they're more likely to hold it together. So now as I look at this, I see here there's a hole that I'll have to fill. I see underneath, I see here that I'll need to fill some areas. And as I turn it around, I can see that I believe that this side is a little more indented than I would like it. I can see from the front that this area is indented and I need to fill that in. So there are all kinds of things. I noticed with the legs that this one's a bit uneven. I'll need to fill in here. And those are the things that I'm looking for. The other thing that I did is I did put holes in the head for the horns, and I'll show you how to do that later. The other thing that's really kind of fun at this stage, well, like here, this is too thin, that if I don't like the angle of the head, I can actually break it off, okay, and move it, and then reattach it with wet clay. So, next step is to start sculpting. And so what I'm going to do is I have clay here, and I also have a container with water, and I dip the clay in the water like so, and I just attach it where I want it to be. So there that is. And then I will turn this around and go to all different angles just to make sure I like it. I need to add more clay here. Now, as you notice, what I do is I dip the clay in the water, and then as you notice, what I do is dip the clay in the water and then attach it to the sculpture. And I really rub at that point. Rub it in very well, because that's when you get it to really attach. Okay, I don't like this angle here. It's too abrupt. Where the neck connects to the body is more gradual than that. So I will add now, if you're having problems at this stage or any other stage getting it to look the way you want to, it's a great time to go back and look at your image that you have saved. Now here's another trick that I have. I make a coil, and since I don't like the angle that this is standing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a coil to the side that I'd like to be lifted up. So I'm going to take this, see where I'd like it to be lifted up, and put a coil in on this piece right here. Rub it in and then push it down so it's at the angle I would like it to be, and then just go ahead and rub it so it attaches well. But boy, I like that a lot better. As far as the cracks go, this crack is the one, this crack is the one. As far as the cracks go, this crack is the one that I would like to talk about. So what I'll do is go ahead and dip my clay in water and put it right on the crack, and then rub it in, not just on the crack area, but the area around it too. And I really rub vigorously, and that will help significantly with your piece. Need to make sure that the bottom, the inside, the underneath of the piece is the way you want it. Now, as far as the head goes, there are two ways that I can look at the head. One is that I can just put wet clay on this and reattach. So I dip it in water. And I put clay inside that. Maybe dip that again in water. And then just push and rub it around and attach. Maybe I would also want to add a little bit of clay on the outside of it. And I know they have a little elbow here, and I want to just suggest that. The other thing that you'll notice is that I am constantly turning the piece around. When you're working in 3 dimensions, it's important. When you're working in 3 dimensions, it's very important to look at the piece from all angles. I'm sitting at a constant angle right now, and it is helpful also to get up higher than the piece or below the piece, just so you can see what it looks like at those angles as well. You'll see I don't like this over here. I do see an issue right here. It appears that the leg is bending in. I know that the metal I used is not bent, so it really is kind of an optical illusion based on the way that I've applied clay. So one of the problems with this clay is it is difficult to get off once it's dry. So let me show you a couple tricks that I have for doing that. One simple way of trimming this down is to take an X-Acto knife and just shave it. Yeah, much better. Now I'll make it wet. Take off the pieces I cut off. Add a little bit more clay on the other side. And that does make a difference. There we go. I like that much better now.